This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Rappaport to the rescue with Jill Rappaport.
Welcome to Rappaport to the Rescue. I'm Jill Rappaport, and this just in, we have a major scoop today. Keyword being major, as in Major Biden. Of course, I'm talking about the president-elect and their family, which includes their shelter dog, Major, and their other beautiful dog, Champ, both German Shepherds. This will be the first time in 4 years we will have pets back in the White House. And the big scoop, the major exclusive here, is that it will be the first time that we have a shelter dog in the White House. This is unbelievable news. So great for shelter animals because this will shine the much needed light on all of these wonderful animals waiting with bated breath and wagging tails for a forever home. And when I tell you I have a major scoop, I really do. Coming up, we are going to speak to Courtney Anderson. Now, Courtney is the Director of Animal Welfare for the Delaware Humane Association. Now, what's so important about that is the Delaware Humane Association is where Biden's dog came from. Major was part of a litter in horrific shape that ended up at this shelter, and he was saved along with his sisters, and now Major is part of the Biden family, who's the first family elect. Okay, Oscar, I know you're excited. So when we come back, we are going to be speaking with Courtney Anderson, and you will not want to miss this.
Unleashing the power of your pets. Pet Power. Talk radio with bites. We're Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network. Let's talk pets.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Rappaport to the Rescue. I'm Jill Rappaport, and as you heard in the open, I am so excited because this is a major exclusive. We have Courtney Anderson. She is the Director of Animal Welfare for the Delaware Humane Association, and she really is a saint, and you're going to hear why. Courtney is responsible for literally saving a litter of puppies that came into the shelter that were so close to death. It's a miracle they're here today. And they were not just any ordinary litter. One of the pups in this litter is going on to become the first shelter dog in the White House. Of course, I'm talking about Major Biden. Courtney, welcome to Rappaport to the Rescue. And I feel like I need to bow to you, to salute you. Not only are you the Director of Animal Welfare at the shelter, you're also a vet technician. And I would like you to tell our listeners how you came to meet Major Biden.
Hello, and thank you again for having me on. So it was the springtime, and it was a little bit late in the day, and there was 2 family members that had brought in a litter of very small puppies. They were about 6 weeks old at the time, and the woman was basically saying that she was looking to surrender the litter of puppies due to some financial constraints that they had. So basically for all animals that we intake into our organization, we do both medical and behavioral assessments of those animals. And instantly upon assessment of these puppies, we could tell that several of them were not acting appropriately. So I had to kind of go out and have a delicate conversation with the owner and basically say, what's going on here? They seem to be pretty sick. I had already tested them for parvo, and we had already talked about things like the possibility of them having a low blood sugar episode or something like that. And then through further conversation, it had come out. She luckily was very honest with us and told us that the puppies did ingest a toxic substance.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
at that time, we kind of all jumped into action, obviously trying to coordinate the sickest puppies to the ones that seemed, neurologically appropriate. But in time, they all ended up, fading pretty quickly. So we started IV catheters and supportive care within our shelters means we did a good bit for them. But after having them in our care for a couple hours, we had decided that it was most appropriate for them to go to one of our partner hospitals that has 24-hour emergency care.
Courtney, not to interrupt you, but what I'm just kind of shocked at, these owners literally, I'd like to say, dumped this litter with you because they knew something was up. They told you eventually what happened. Why wouldn't they just go to an animal hospital right away, knowing that they had ingested poison?
Yeah, so that's kind of the frustrating thing sometimes on our end is extracting that information from people. And, obviously our hopes are that they're most honest with us upon arrival. But I think it's a fear thing. They don't know if they're going to get in trouble.
You had the carriers labeled from bad to worse. How dire was Major Biden's condition?
From what I can recall, he was one of the sicker of the puppies, unfortunately.
How many in the litter?
There were 6.
There were 6. And did they all make it?
They did. Yes.
Oh,
I'm so happy to say they all made it.
Yeah, I asked that question and I was holding my breath, as I'm sure our listeners are, because that's such great news. Now let's go on to discuss how this one little puppy found its way to our first family elect.
So on social media, obviously, we had publicized the fact that we had this really adorable litter of what we had almost considered to be purebred German Shepherds, which if anyone knows shelter or, that type of organization, shelter animals or animal welfare, you hardly ever get a purebred anything. But these puppies, they looked pretty darn purebred. So they obviously sparked a lot of interest. But we had posted them on social media that we had a litter of German Shepherd puppies in our care. President-elect Joe Biden came into the shelter.
He came himself?
Yes, he did.
Wait, without any warning, all of a sudden, President-elect just walked in?
He had called and actually said that he was interested, and was there any way, that he would be able to come down and look at the litter of puppies. And of course,
you're like, I think so.
Yeah, I think we can make that happen. And if I can recall, he was pretty adamant about wanting a boy puppy. And I'm almost 100% positive that Major was the only boy in the whole litter.
Wow.
So it was pretty destined that he was obviously going to be the dog that he took a shining to.
At the time, the Bidens had Champ. Champ is 12 years old, also a German Shepherd. The Bidens love German Shepherds, obviously. But I understand that when our president-elect, Joe Biden, walked in, he walked in with the intention of fostering, not adopting.
Yeah, he was, a little bit like, we're going to have to kind of see how things go with Champ. And I think he knew pretty well that he was going to be adopting him. But for all intents and purposes, he did end up being a foster fail.
We love foster fails. It's the only time I love using the word fail and feeling good about it. A foster fail, to our listeners that don't know, means that you want to foster a dog so that you can give them loving home in a temporary situation. And the foster fail is you fall so in love with the animal that you end up keeping the animal.
Right. I have a house full of them.
And also, when he came in to see you, he was our former vice president. And little did you know that here we would be talking about this dog about to make history as the first shelter dog in the White House. I want to know what the connection was. What did you see between our president-elect and Major?
I can tell you his visit there, the day that he adopted him, we were, I thought he was just going to kind of come in and do his adoption quickly and move along, because he obviously had a small entourage out in the black SUV out in the parking lot. But I'll tell you what, he just sat there and he was very enjoyable. He was telling us stories, and the whole time Major just sat between his legs staring at him the entire time. It was really awesome.
I love that. So he was just a regular Joe.
Yes. Like we were all, can we get a picture? Can we get a picture? Like and he was totally cool about it. And then he was telling jokes and just telling different stories and stuff like that. And we were all like, wow, we thought he would be like, you know how, some people can be like in and out, like they want to just get it done and move on. But he was really fun. Like it was a very exciting, humbling moment, I think, for all of us. And it was really nice too.
That's incredible. I would imagine for him, who wouldn't love adorable German Shepherd little puppy cuddled up in your lap, but to have one gazing up at you. Was the president-elect smitten by this as well? Was he looking down and like gushing a little bit?
He kept giving him, acknowledging, he was a good boy, and kept kind of giving him kisses and just rubbing him on the head, scratching around the ears, telling him he was a good boy. And he really was. You could tell he was completely loyal to him. I think he's probably just as loyal to Joe as he is the entire Biden family.
From what I see and what I understand, he and Champ are best of buddies, huh?
Yes, I've heard that as well. And just seeing the pictures of them, to be honest with you, I was a little nervous, like two big, headstrong male German Shepherds under one roof, but they really clicked well. And you can tell in the pictures that they are good buddies. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah, it's great. But do you think it helps that Champ is almost 12 and a half? I mean, he's a senior dog, so he's probably a little mellower. Yeah. And this is now his little baby brother.
Exactly. He probably can be a little annoying at times, as little brothers can be, but they seem to get along pretty well.
And again, what a great message, not only for this administration, but for adoption and rescue and shelters all over.
Absolutely. It's been a real honor to be a part of this process and obviously Major's journey. In some ways, it has absolutely changed us. For example, having this conversation here today with you all, it's great that it has created a lot of awareness around Delaware Humane, our mission, the services that we provide to not only animals, but people as well, and the importance really around adopting animals.
But let's be honest, Courtney, it hasn't even begun. Wait till we see these dogs on the front lawn of the White House. I mean, literally, they're calling it DOTUS now, dogs of the United States. It's really amazing because it's so great. We have not seen a dog in the White House for 4 years. And the fact that Major will be the first shelter dog. What does that mean to you? And what do you think that will do for shelters and rescues and adoption in general?
I certainly hope that it has changed people's minds in regards to adopting an animal from an animal shelter. While we would never condemn someone for purchasing an animal from a breeder, many people simply don't realize that there are thousands and thousands of animals that sit within shelters every single day that are waiting for someone special to come along and give them a chance.
And not every dog is going to end up with the president-elect in the White House, but the message is so great. What can happen to these dogs if given a wonderful, loving home? It's just such a wonderful thing to do, and the best gift we can really give ourselves.
Shelter animals are deserving, and they're grateful, and they can bring so much joy to someone's life. So they're certainly deserving of a second chance, and I think it's a beautiful thing to adopt a shelter animal.
Well, Courtney Anderson, thank you so much. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts for taking such great care of this litter. If it wasn't for you and the wonderful folks at the Delaware Humane Association, we would not have Major going to the White House.
Thank you.
POTUS, FLOTUS, and now DOTUS, dogs of the United States. Thank you so much, Courtney.
Thank you, Jill.
And when we come back, we will hear more about the importance and the excitement of having the first shelter dog in the White House with Bill Berloni coming up.
Oh, sure. It's all fun and games until someone ends up in a cone. That's right. We are animals. Deal with it. Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Rappaport to the Rescue, and it's that time again. My buddy, my partner in crime, Bill Berloni, joins me, and wasn't that amazing? I am so excited, and I know you are too. The first shelter dog is going to be in the White House, and also just seeing dogs back in the White House again. How great is this, Bill?
It's fantastic. It just shows the character of who's been elected president, because if you love your dogs, there's a certain part of you that is very special and very human and humane.
And, you know, the Biden's dog Champ is 12 years old, German Shepherd. And then, of course, they rescued Major, and Major's now 2 years old and really went through, as you heard, harrowing times. Really shouldn't have been here, but for the grace of God and those wonderful people at the shelter that saved him, thank goodness he is. But the message is going to be so impactful to see these dogs on the White House lawn.
Absolutely. And the message is quite simple. We're really all created equal. You know, a rescue dog is no less important than a pedigree dog. And here we have a White House administration that shows that. These people open their hearts to a beautiful creature. And that's what they should be looked at, not rescue versus pedigree. But this will show people that they're just as good as anybody else.
And, you know, I have missed seeing a pet in the White House. 4 years of not seeing a pet frolicking around on the lawn and the antics, you know, whether it be the dogs or the cats. I mean, every family has had one. So this really was a void for us pet lovers the last 4 years. Not to get political, but it was a void.
It was. And I've actually been to the White House on 6 different occasions with my dogs. And you know, when you have an administration that loves animals, you're welcome there with your dog as well. To see them back frolicking on the great lawn there will be something great.
And Bill, you know, you are such a modest guy. I thought I knew a lot of things about you, but you've been to the White House 6 times? You think I'm just going to let that comment go? What? Tell us about that.
With President Carter, President Reagan, and President Clinton.
Just to name a few.
Just to name a few. Yes, I mean, and they were all wrapped around children's shows that we had running on Broadway with animals. But yeah, we would either go and entertain at the White House Christmas party or at the Easter egg hunt. You know, so it was always great to be around the kids and especially those families, except the Reagans were a little standoffish, but they fed us hot dogs on the lawn. Whereas the Democrats fed us inside. But that's a different story.
Well, first of all, you are the quintessential trainer because heaven forbid one of your dogs had left a little something behind for the first family. That would have been interesting and embarrassing.
Oh, the first time I went was with the original Sandy from the original production of Annie. And when I walked up the driveway and he pulled me to a tree to lift his leg, I thought I was going to get covered by the Secret Service. I mean, I didn't know what to do. But they were like, it's okay.
Well, the dog left an indelible mark in a very important place. Wow, that is amazing. Look at the experiences you've had because of the amazing trainer you are. So I know of anybody, you are just so thrilled at this opportunity and this experience we're going to have now going forward. Hey, maybe they'll bring you back to the White House for a little training.
I mean, hey, maybe we should go and do an event there for rescue dogs.
From your mouth to everybody's ears who's listening, that would be wonderful. Bill, you never cease to amaze me with your information, just doing the work you love. It's great to have you on today. Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening to another edition of Rappaport to the Rescue. And Bill, you know how we end the show. Always stay
positive.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.